Hi, Sonia Clark here again from soniaclark.com and Prosper with Sonia Clark being the podcast channel. Thought I would bring you a business management tool today that I've seen someone else apply it differently. So I've seen this business management tool being used several different ways and different times with different professions, and it comes down to the application, how you go about it. What it is, this business management tool is often seen as a root cause analysis tool. I actually like a different one for a root cause analysis to get down to the actual roots and of the causes that are happening, creating a problem. And I tend to like the fishbone, so I'll bring you that another time. This particular one's called the 5 Whys. So some people will call it a business management tool, some people will call it a root cause analysis tool. Some people will just call it the 5 times why or just the 5 whys. And basically it's about asking why 5 times. So whatever a problem is that's presenting itself, or it could be that a challenge that you're trying to overcome, you want to look at, well, what are all the causes that's creating that? And you ask why, and it's usually that first time round is something that you would tend to think that that's the cause. You ask the second time round why to this, not necessarily to that. Okay, so you ask why to this outcome, this answer that came about. This is where you start to see the pivoting happen off of what you thought was the actual cause. The third time asking why is to obviously this one. And a lot of people will start to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's what I thought, really, that I'd probably, get there. It's actually really quite challenging to get to the 4th and the 5th. To drill down to 5 levels is very, very important. Don't stop at 3. Otherwise, if you feel that you can't get to the 4, or if you feel like you really can't get to the 5, then really your questioning of the first time round wasn't quite spot on, or it could have been, rather than the questioning, it could be the perception around what you think is the cause, or it could be the fact that that particular challenge or problem or issue really isn't a problem or an issue that needs to be fixed. It might be more something that needs to be tweaked. All right, so you've asked why to this, and then why to that one, and then why to that one. And so then this one really should be quite different to what you perhaps thought of initially. Now, what I did see today, let me just give you an example. So that's typically how we've used them in the past, and I've actually seen people, project managers, use this and really deep dive and go right the way down into the real nitty gritties. I just prefer the fishbone because it helps you categorize, and it then looks at, well, actually, there's quite a few of things in here we need to fix. So with the fishbone, it not only gives you the categories of how to group these issues together, but then helps you to work out how to prioritize it, especially with the technique that I use. So it's the prioritization with the fishbone. Okay. So I personally don't like to deep dive with the 5 whys. What I did see today is with a coach, and he teaches coaches how to be successfully very successful coaches, and to really maximize what they do and how they use it. And I saw him use it more so about in a little bit of a grouping within those 5 levels and around attitude, method, and skills. So with whatever this issue is that's creating a bit of a challenge and you need to help overcome it, and if you group them into possibly attitude, method, and skills, by the time you get to the 3rd one, you want to then be asking this 4th one about 3, 2, and 1, not necessarily just about the 3. And that's what I thought was really quite interesting. So to group them into a category, and if you find that, that actually needs to be 2 and 1 as a category and 3 as a separate category, you can do that as well. So then, but still ask at this 4th level, a question is, so why is all of the 1, 2, and 3 important to you? You could ask then at the number 3 point, why is 1 and 2 important? So then this will have a different, outcome possibly to the original line of questionings that you're going on. And then number 4, it could be, why is 1 and 2 important to you, and why is number 3 important to you? So you could do groupings then in those levels. So then your 5th question is, let me put my glasses on. Why is it that in your number 1, 2, and 3, so the question is more around, why is it that in your responses, your different responses, that makes you feel that way? So it brings about a lot around feelings and pride, and the brings out the positive emotions as well as the negative emotions, but it helps to give you a little bit more of something to anchor your, then what do you do after that, to anchor that onto. So then you can ask, how does such and such ultimately get you to where you want to go? So how does, and then that such and such that I said, the groupings of those, how does that help you to get to where you want to go to? So to overcome this challenge. So what the slight difference in questionings there, they're still the whys, but it's how you position the questions in this technique helps the person, the individual. If you're doing one-on-one, you could still do it with groups. How do you get the individuals to look at things differently in groupings, to look at the responses as a systematic approach, and to bring about different feelings to it, so that they can then go, okay, well, this, and this, I actually now can see that I need to do a path and systemate it being that, and that's my outcome, or just that one is my outcome. However, I do have more emotions and feelings around this response. So maybe I actually need to do 5 whys on that response. And that's where you could look at then segregating your groupings and doing more deep dive that way with your 5 whys. The more of a deep dive you can do on anything that's causing or creating this obstruction, great. Do you want to do it all in one hit is another big question. I would highly recommend, do it as an overall umbrella and itemize out the groupings, and then say, look, we'll come to that a little bit later. Let's just work on this. So again, it's a different way of prioritizing, because prioritizing, people need to be led by a strong leader. So even though you can be using these various different sorts of tools, you need to also look at creating a pathway for people to follow. So therefore, that's leadership. So I hope this is helpful for you to help you apply it in a professional as well as personal sense for your businesses and your processes and your systems and any of the challenges, especially at the moment. We've got a lot of challenges happening with the coronavirus, and trying to get our message, a marketing message, across to people, our potential customers and clients and stakeholders, as well as our current ones, and to help facilitate and to produce outcomes that they're wanting. When we're always being of service, when we're always looking to help be and to deliver the best that we can and be the best that we can, and to ultimately drive down to what are those problems or challenges or resistance that's giving us that pushback, we need to look at it quite positively and go, great, here's a quick and easy tool that I can use. Let's have a play around with it and see what sort of response I get. And reach out to anyone that's going to help give you a bit of guidance on it. So say, for example, me, always really great to talk about it with your professional colleagues as well. So hope that's been some food for thought for you, and I look forward to receiving your feedback. You can leave it in the Facebook groups, you can leave it in any of the places where I place this video, and I look forward to bringing you some more tips along the way. Bye for now.